Hey everyone, Ben Crosswhite here, and today I'm talking mainly to the ladies. Today's video is on how to look or tone up like Miss USA. There's no secret anymore, thanks to Bethany and Leah Sculpt, that I've trained multiple Miss USA contestants. Most recently I'm currently training Miss Virginia volunteer, Kate, and then I trained 2 years ago Christina Thompson, who won Miss Virginia and made it to the top 16 in the Miss USA contest. One of the big reasons she made it to top 16 was because of her physique and what she did in preparation for that in the gym. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what that looks like, how to program properly. If you want to get a full-scale program, go to leosculpt.com and watch Bethany's video. It's incredible, it's inspiring. I also want to mention that women's workouts should be completely different than men's. There's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of differences as well, and we'll take that into account. Women typically are going to have more body fat than men. Men are going to have more muscle mass per pound than women. Usually 40 to 50% of their weight is muscle, and women is usually 30 to 35%. Obviously, there's variables in there depending on who it is, but that's the typical range. Women are also going to be about 10% higher in the Mayo Clinic spectrum for average body fat. So 22 to 29% is an average range for a woman, when it's much lower than a man, for a man. So keep those things in mind. Women are going to have more type 1 muscle fibers. They're going to be more dense mitochondria. They're going to be slower twitch fibers if you're not familiar. And they have a different type of fat deposit as well. So it's a mitochondria-rich fatty tissue that is going to aid more in the metabolic effect of the body. So keep those things in mind. And that is going to be incorporated into the training and a lot into the nutrition. Again, if you want more help with training or nutrition, more in detail than the video, go to leosculpt.com. We already have 1,300 women that signed up in the last 3 days, and it's gonna be incredible. Do it now before the sign-up closes. So this is mainly the look of the Miss USA pageant. They have a certain look that they go for. That is all it is. If that is the look you want, this is what you need to do. If not, then this isn't what you need to do. And that is perfectly fine. Everyone is made in God's image. Women's bodies are beautiful regardless. So take that with a little grain of salt and let's get into it. Okay, so when I program for Miss USA contestant, I take a lot of things into consideration that we just talked about, but also the big ones are strength training in pretty much every level and focusing on certain muscle groups. So you don't want to obviously develop a lot of traps in a woman doing a Miss USA contest. You don't want to develop the thighs into really, really big thighs and thick hamstrings. So you got to focus on what exercises are going to isolate muscle groups without activating other muscle groups. I like to do compound movements. I like to do strength and muscle hypertrophy exercises within a metabolic training. So basically you're getting cardio, strength training, and muscle hypertrophy all in one. So the first one, I'll give an example, and today is only examples of where my mind is going in the programming, but it's a stationary lunge, keeping good form, chest is up. We're gonna start in this position here, so you're gonna be right in front of your eyes, thumbs are up, the dumbbells here, very light dumbbells. We're gonna take right arm out, down, back up, together, and then left arm, keeping that position. Now we're gonna do about 8 to 10 reps, pretty much burning out the shoulders and the legs. And then we're switching legs, obviously, 8 to 10 reps on the opposite side. Now I have the 3s. If it were me, I'd do probably 8s or 10s, but most females, the 3s or 5s are great. But that's an example of a full compound movement that is still strength training. It's getting the delts. It's not getting the traps too much. We're not doing any kind of upright row on that. And it's gonna be a good isometric tension on the legs, which is not gonna grow them to the max capacity, but it's gonna help tone and tighten those muscle groups. All right, so the next example involves a band in a box. Christina did this a lot. Kate has done this once or twice. So this is a banded row with a side active plank on the box on your elbow. So it's another compound movement. It's great for toning, conditioning the obliques, the serratus anterior, the transverse abdominis, all that help to aid, especially the transverse abdominis, into slimming that waistline and getting a really tight and toned core. So let me show you an example of this. You're gonna have right elbow down, right foot is in front, knees are barely bent. It's gonna take some pressure off the knees, fully extending the arm. We're dropping the hips and rowing in at 90 degrees without shrugging as the hips come up. So I'm squeezing that right side as I come up. Neutral spine, especially at the top. Keep a neutral cervical spine. Elbow is gonna stay below the shoulder, and you're gonna squeeze that right side, holding at the top. Good isometric tension, and it's a really good compound movement and does wonders. Okay, so the last example I want to give you is a single leg Bulgarian, but I'm using the TRX straps. I'll explain why I'm not using the box for a Miss USA contestant. But this one is a very good compound movement. It's going to work a lot of pretty much every facet of the leg, every muscle group of the leg. The glutes are the largest muscle in the body, gluteus maximus, so they're going to burn a lot of calories. They're very hard to hit and isolate, and the more you develop your glutes, the more it's going to protect your lumbar spine. So I recommend doing these even if you're not trying to train like Miss USA contestant. But we're going to start with weight, and when you come down, your knee should almost come to the ground. So this is going to get more glute activation. Typically, the lower you get or the higher you step up. That's why I have a lot of my girls do reverse lunges on a plate, something elevated so they can get a deeper stretch, keeping the knee behind the toes. And we're gonna do a potentiation exercise. So this one is heavy weight for 8 reps, keeping your balance. Sometimes I give a pull. And you see my knee is going backwards. I'm not pushing forward. So I'm not working a lot of quads like I would on the box. The TRX allows me to move my body back as I go down, same motion, which is a lot of glutes, coming right back up. So we're doing 8 reps with the weight. Keeping chest and shoulders back and up. And then we're gonna drop the weight and we're gonna hit 12 to 15 reps without immediately straight into it. So that's that potentiation part of it, which is excellent in really having a lot of muscle hypertrophy in the right areas. So I usually pair that with some hip thrusters. I usually pair it with something, maybe some abductions, side step abductions or clamshells, just to get the glutes fully activated, and you're gonna feel them even more. Ladies, thank you for watching. It is truly an honor to have you on my YouTube page, and continue to like, subscribe, follow me, and Instagram, Ben Crosswhite. Feel free to reach out to me, send a message. I'd love to hear from you and new tips. And I want to reiterate, you want to do what's best for your body. Everyone has a different look, everyone has a different desire and goals and injuries. So keep that in mind when you're programming for yourself. I can help, reach out to me. I'll try to do what I can to help. But just keep that in mind that God created you in His image and you are beautiful no matter what. But to be fit and healthy is unlike anything else. We need to take care of our temples. And with the Miss USA girls, their body fat, and I didn't mention this earlier, but their body fat is lower than I'd like for most women. So for instance, Christina got down to 16.1% body fat, which is great, but it's not too sustainable. So you don't want to stay there for too long. You want to keep it a little bit higher than that, I recommend. But obviously if you're going on a beach trip, if you're doing something that you really want to feel confident in your swimsuit or some kind of outfit, then getting at that point is not bad. Same with guys. Getting a 6-pack and being really strict and then lightening up a little bit to keep it more consistent is a good thing. So remember to follow Ben Crosswhite and go follow Dearly Bethany, follow Christina Thompson, and then the Miss Virginia and Miss Virginia volunteer pages. All great things going on, a lot of scholarships given out. And make sure you subscribe and go to leosculpt.com before the signups close. Thanks for watching.